bless you wherever you're viewing us live. I would also thank you so much for being part of the biggest TV in West Nile. This is Sunrise TV. My name is Senior Zero. This is the special edition of a big interview here at Twambe Cooperative League. Of course, a special one. And we say that this will be one of the biggest opportunities to have Twambe as one of the partners of the TV. And we said we should be having a special interview right here. My name is Senior Zero, like I said, the host of the show. I'm privileged to have the media officer here at Twambe Cooperative League in the name of Toko Badru, aka Kioke, right here with me. Kioke, good evening.
Good evening, Jero. Good evening, Sunrise TV. Thank you for visiting us at Twambe Health Club, where the corporate league probably is trending. But of course, this is a home to those who want to be fit and probably be able to, maneuver ways in terms of living a good life.
All right. Try to paint us just a very brief background about the Twambe Cooperative League. Of course, we all know this is not the first time that this kind of initiative is happening here in Arua, and give us some brief background about Twambe Cooperative League.
Well, I think we started these corporate league games after the COVID had hit us hard, and I think the projection was to make sure that people probably come back bigger and better. There was the first one. We looked at blood donation, and I think we mobilized good units of blood. The second one, we looked at the aspect of extending support to the malnourished children, and I think it worked out. Then we had a campaign that was specifically aimed at helping mothers who were expectant and in local way, the pregnant mothers or pregnant women. And I think it worked out. Now this is the fourth edition. We looked at action against climate, and if you can probably be able to see behind us, many places trees have been planted, and so I think the idea is for every other person, every individual probably to be able to plant about 10 trees. So like for example, we have a population of about 42 or 45 million Ugandans, and I think at this period, if every Ugandan had planted 10 trees, would have done this campaign bigger and better. Now, it's a reason we all came out and we're doing this. When this started as the fourth edition, we extended invitations to a number of teams. We got partners. We're blessed to have the stewardship and support that is coming from Premier Bet, probably the right holders, and that's the reason it's called Premier Bet Twambe Corporate League 4th edition. But I think just like their motto is better than all, they have come with an aspect of trying to, kind of improve some things. By improving something doesn't mean that we're not doing well, but I think they have added something extra to the whole arrangement. And right from the competition, the start of the competition, perhaps to this weekend, that happens to be tomorrow, Saturday, the 13th, we'll probably be able to have the semi-final games. The two semi-finals games probably would see Koboko X taking on Red Cross Society. That will be at 4 p.m. and then at 5 p.m. we'll have a Premier Bet, the sponsors perhaps having in a team in the semi-finals taking on Laru Valide Electronics, a team that surprised many people, a team that got 2 points in the group stages, ejected a very, very formidable team in the knockout stage. Again, went extra. That actually they ejected, a team in the knockout stage, and of course in the knockout quarterfinals, they actually went on to beat Twambe. Actually, they beat Twambe and again went on to kind of, get out another team there. So basically, I think this gives you a picture of what the corporate league is able to bring. Because even the same Premier Bet that we talk about in here got about 6 points. It took Twambe to beat Prisons for them to qualify. So the competition has been tense. There's a group, the particular group where there were only 5 teams. And I think that group, the only team that exited should have been the Panthers. Because they only had about a point. And I think it was a tough moment for them. Now, this competition this year also kind of created something very new. The fact that the corporates were involved in certain decision making, in aspects of trying to kind of see who qualifies to play in the competition, who doesn't qualify, and perhaps even getting in lady footballers or probably female footballers who are of a very good, a class in terms of play, in terms of my personal ratings, because I've also been hosting the games. But I think I was also able to see kind of players who are above the age of 50. That tells you specifically that if you actually manage things well, when you maneuver things well, they work out. And the player I'm talking about here is Paul Kenya, who probably is the head of sub office.
Yeah.
UNHCR is also the patron of the competition since the first edition. So I think, Gerard, just to be brief, this is the far we have reached with the competition. Teams paid 600,000 Ugandan shillings. Teams have some entitlements like refreshment, first aid. Of course, we got a first aid. We got first aid partners. One of them was Oak Diagnostic Center. They came on board.
Yeah.
Red Cross Zizo came on board. We also did Al-Sam Medical Center that participated in the competition as well. They came in as a partner. We also probably extended. We have a food partner in Omia Agribusiness that probably has Omia Foods. They did a good job as well. We went extra. Like I said, Premier Bet is on board. That means you can actually also be able to bet some of these games during this period. As much as it might not be the way where odds probably come, odds keep kind of fluctuating. But this was probably a little bit of a different one because whenever the games are on, whoever gives the right prediction is probably entitled, and they were able to get T-shirts. They were able to get some visibility items courtesy of the sponsors. But during this time, we also be able to see teams like Laru Valid Electronics that deal in electronic materials, probably even giving out phones. Osito Engineering was able to kind of have a good stuff. We had Jamie Water that was giving 10% to all the clients that come during the corporate league season. I think with a number of other entities, including in the Panthers, the Buganda community that probably was one of the biggest in the Tuambe company. You could talk about Janice Refugee Council, talk about UNHCR. You could actually be able to talk about Tottenham Hotspur fans, Arua probably coming on board. There was also that exclusive one that came from the other partners, the Friends of Football, that came bigger and better. So I think I just mentioned, but a few, over 20 teams participated. Now they have zeroed down to about 4 teams. After the semi-finals, we expect a third place playoffs where we'll be able to sort out the third team. We expect a final where the winner, probably, or the champions are decided. A trophy will be given out. Medals will be given out from gold medal to silver medal and perhaps to a bronze medal. And these medals probably will be extended to some of the invited persons, including even Sarah Rice probably will be awarded as well. Because they're giving the game a good feel to the public out there. So I think this has been, for me, one of the best times because this gives everyone attention, gives everyone opportunity to watch games on Saturdays and as well Sundays. Every player who played in this competition was actually able to get, for the player of the match, they're able to get trees to be planted. They get an accolade that they pose and take photos with, and people value, perhaps we're awarding this, to the players. So for me, I think it is more than a success. But going forward, the Premier Bet team has promised something big that we'll unveil, we'll celebrate as a story on this TV before the final game. Because I just wanted to create an appetite and say the finals, that will be the semi-finals that will be tomorrow, 4 p.m. Another will be 5 p.m. These games will be live on the TV, that's Sunrise TV. They'll also be live from the third place playoffs. That will be on Sunday, also at 4 p.m. Final that will be at 5 p.m. live. There might also be a game between the children. Of course, excitingly, they will have a game that normally UNHCR powers. That game will be played. There will be a game between the managers and the ladies that as well will be coming in there.
All right, Diego, let's first talk about the history behind this. Of course, you have rightly said that this now the fourth edition, and let's look at the dominance of teams. Which teams have been winning this consistently? Has it been a dominant thing, or it has been a routine thing? One team wins, and the other one still waits for another opportunity to win the trophy.
Well, I think from the first edition, big time Computer Empire. You know about them. Salim's team came in. They won it smart, and they were the first and last team to have won a bull. The story of bull ended, and we thought maybe we needed to solicit finances and support because that time, when corporates come in here, they just donate blood, and we felt maybe over $1 million shilling could be put in terms of a bull and it's given out. The second place team got some 2 goats, courtesy of the organizers, and think were testing waters. Now the second edition, we did see a team come through in the shape of police, Uganda Police. We all know that police are in charge of handcuffs, they're in charge of law and order, but they participated, they were loved by the community, their message went better, they won the competition, perhaps in a very smart way. The third edition was won by Heritage Courts Hotel. So you'd think the police won it, hotel side won it, big time that Deeds and Gadgets won it. Now of the 4 teams that are probably left in the competition, you talk about the Red Cross Society team that did have bad times in the earlier stages of the competition, perhaps in the first, second, third, and then you talk about the Premier Bet team that are here perhaps for the second time. Now as a sponsor, they could have a chance. You could talk about Laru Valid, like I said, 2 points at the group stages, knocking out formidable teams. I mean, it's a discussion point because getting Jamie Warder out and then perhaps getting even Tuambe out, that was a huge discussion. Now, somewhere, you could also be able to look at what the other team is able to bring on board, because the fourth team in here is able to bring on board. That is Koboko X.
Yes.
First time they're participating in this competition, and perhaps one of the times that you talk about a team that came in late, giving it a little bit of a difference. I think you remember later Julie.
Yes.
There's a player called Sabiri played in the Julies. Those days, for those who went to St. John's College of Bachi and those who probably watched football here, there was a team called Kofi FC.
Yes.
It was such a big team. At least some of us who were in the 40s probably have better stories about it. Because if somebody tells you that in 1992, a team called Arua Youngsters had a qualifier game, and it was Charles Ogorokone Alioni who probably scored the only goal. And if you go in town and you find him kind of carrying bags of cement and he's doing that work, and you ask how he did it, he'll tell you the story of how he got some sand from the ground and spread it in the air.
Yeah.
And then the opponents perhaps were blinking their eyes for safety, and boom, West Nile team got in there, and the team had about 3 seasons in as far as the top flight football is concerned. That was the Super League then. I think it took in time until when Onduparaka came and did this many times, until when we had Arua Hill that won the big league trophy, until when we had the province that went on to win the FUFA drum.
Yeah.
I think these are stories that ignite, stories that change. Just like Sunrise TV comes in to rescue a situation, to make sure somebody who is in Ajumani, in Ubongi, in Moyo, in Yumbe, Maracha, Terego, in Aivu, Arua district perhaps, in Madiokolo, Zombo, Pakwach, Nebi, and those who are outside West Nile, those who are in Congo, those in DRC, the entire world gets an opportunity to have a glimpse, and it means a lot. You see, this is the development we probably have been yearning for. But now when an opportunity like this comes, I think it is just beyond discussing the competition. It is also about discussing the success stories you have. Where did we start the journey? And how far is the journey going? Because sometimes it is not the height of the man. It is the potential of the mind in terms of growth that certainly contributes.
All right, Diego, let's first talk about how consistent is Tuambe in this tournament. Of course, is it going to be an annual thing, or is it going to be a monthly thing? Of course, we have seen this now being the 4th edition. How consistent is Tuambe trying to implement this kind of initiatives here?
Well, when we speak Tuambe, we're speaking about, first of all, I want to talk about the director, Engineer Jamal Osman. Tuambe is known for his passion for the game. From the narrative, he said he was a bit disadvantaged growing up. Perhaps he loved football, but didn't get opportunity to play that much. Being an engineer, he felt there should be a CSR activity that gives a way of giving back to the community, and they started a small pitch for a few of the workers that were working in here to probably be able to kind of exercise to avoid fatigue. Mind damage, or perhaps, mental health stuff like that. So when they started this, a few of the neighbors who probably around this area of Staff Lane came on board, and they started moving for matches in Terego, where in Maracha, Yumbe, in probably places where they had sites, including Madiokolo and many others. So this translated into formulation. The idea of having an artificial turf that perhaps is the first in West Nile and perhaps in northern Uganda. And this artificial turf, now that we see, has probably graduated, and now the idea of having matches played in here came. So it tells you that the appropriator, or probably the CEO, had bigger plans, and his intentions were to see that the game of football probably grows. And he extended it to a level of having a gym that we're able to see at the background. We have aerobics, and now the aerobics is at 5,000 Ugandan shillings. That is daily. Monthly, you pay 100,000 Ugandan shillings. The gym is at 10,000 Ugandan shillings daily. Monthly is 200. There's treadmill at 10,000 Ugandan shillings daily. Monthly is 200. Then the other things that happen in here that are perhaps hospitality related, kids having opportunity for ice cream, having sodas, you know, and then of course nyama choma, as you can see around India. So I think basically we're having a place that is free from alcohol,
Yes.
free from ethanol, a place that you would actually be able to tell your person's home that I'm stepping out to Tuambe, and somebody says, wow, I think it's brilliant. So that tells you the sustainability plan. But then consistency in terms of having the competition organized from the first edition to the second edition, the third edition, now the fourth edition, fifth edition that will start after this one. A declaration will be done on. So I think this basically gives us a picture of how consistent the Tuambe corporate league is.
I know the weather is kind of not really doing well on our favor. We may easily maybe post somewhere before it gets worse in there. Of course, this is a Saturday TV, and we are here to give you the best in terms of sports in there. And we are so humbled that you guys are still giving us that mileage. You guys are still closer with us, and we are here to see that we give you the best in terms of updates regarding sports in there. Of course, my name is Senior Zero. I'm still here together with Tokobaru TOK. Here discussing about the Tuambe Corporate League in there. Of course, this is not the first edition, and it's been one of the consistent actually tournaments organized here at Tuambe in there. Of course, TOK, let's first talk about.
I think we're gonna take a seat. It's allowed.
All right.
I am thinking even the weather is not a bad thing. It's just one of the many things that we have. That also tells you when it is kind of raining in here. We have plan B, and where we are seated, we properly catered for, and we're in a seat. Now, Gerald was saying something about the consistency, and I think I reached a point I was trying to pose, you know, a challenge for a West Nile out there to kind of look at the idea that is in here, and this idea could only grow if stakeholders perhaps have right roles to play day in, day out. This being in a way that when you look at the whole setup of Tuambe, right from the engineering department that we have down in there, actually just next to this particular facility, to the law firm, Buga and Co Advocates, that is quite down in there, and then of course the Ramul Wasim Bay. So that means if somebody comes in here, whether you have a car, you don't have a car, you have a problem to solve, you have a case to handle, you have a house to be constructed, you want to get fit, all these things are catered for, and it's a reason that somebody can sit here and probably be excited about the developments around here. Yes.
All right, let's first talk about the organizers a little bit. Of course, it looks more of a corporate thing, and it's not looking at the angle of kids. Is Tuambe Corporate League trying to have that actual partnership with kids, maybe try to have our kids to see that the kids also have this kind of tournaments organized here?
Well, the corporates, in a description in better English, are persons who have something to do. They have been in football. They kind of already tired, maybe because of work schedule. They cannot turn professionals, or probably they have been professionals and now they are for their rest, or probably their break. You could talk about people like Sizo Kuti. You could talk about Ahmed Fabio Borini. You could talk About Sina Mokosa probably riding in. There are people who probably are in late 30s or probably 40s. You could talk about Jamal Tuambe himself, the engineer. You could talk about Puga Gilt, you know, Nashur. You could talk about the Amins. You could actually talk about people like Paul Kenya. So basically, the intention of the corporate league is to give the corporates an opportunity, people of age, people who have purpose to play, an opportunity. But then speaking about the other projects that are here, we have Active Footballers League, competition that always happens in a gala format. We have organized ED Cups. We have the academy football that you could as well be able to kind of. I think we're doing an interview, but of course somewhere there the kids are playing football. Why I didn't want to involve them so much is that our sponsor Premier Bet, you know, caters for persons from the age of 25 and above. But mentioning a kid is also so bad thing. So there is special training designed for the children, and they have their matches. And to join here is 150,000 Ugandan cedis for you to bring your child and for the child to be a member. And monthly, you now pay 50,000 Ugandan cedis. There's a holiday package of 200 for non-members and 50 for members. And now, if you want your child to play here on weekends, there's also a particular fee that you've got to pay, you know, depending on how many times they can be here. But I also want to let you know that the children who came here without even knowing ball control, goal scoring, and perhaps shooting. Those particular basics in football are actually able to kind of upgrade, and they improve themselves. They got empowered, and they're able to grow bigger and better. So that tells you that the academy at Tuambe perhaps has also been able to kind of do that. But also in a subsequent times, because we're looking at gender balance, we gave an opportunity in the other edition for ladies to come and probably formulate a team, but they should not have more than 3 gentlemen playing their team, and they can also kind of have active footballers. And I think there they gave them opportunity, and these ladies actually played, in the Tuambe Corporate League. So specifically, I think this gives you a moment of trying to look at what these guys were able to do within the shortest period. But also somewhere, the CSR went extreme. In the editions, there were Mama's kits, there were, Benson's, number of items that were given out to mothers.
Yes.
In Madiokolo, in Teregu, in Arua district, and perhaps even in Arua city.
Yes.
Even the nutrition-related one was probably also implemented in various other places.
Yes.
But the beauty is that when we focus on this particular one, the benefit has got to go to everyone. Recently, we had tree planting.
Yes.
As a team, the entire team went and planted trees at Joint Medical Stores.
Yes.
There's a new building they're putting up at the diocese in Idiofe.
In Idiofe,
we went and planted, and even we were willing to go and plant trees at Sunrise TV. If you can show us a physical location, and we can plant thousands, hundreds, and we'll see how the trees will go. Because we're doing a challenge.
Yeah.
If IETOK plants a tree today, can I be able to sustain it? If I plant trees, can they be alive? Can I feed the trees the way I feed myself? I think that's what we're trying to look at. And that's why you see the greening of this place becomes a very serious one in here.
All right, you guys have prepared a lot in terms of nutrition, in terms of climate change. What next are you trying to have in here in terms of the Tuambe Corporate League?
I think that would have been a better for the next interview, but of course, just to give a hint, we've done things for the community, making sure there's sufficient blood units solicited. We all know that the mindset of people here about blood donation has been tough. We had the opportunity to support mothers, especially the mothers, that we did perfectly. We actually had some of the mothers who came in here and said, actually I was a beneficiary because after that particular project, I had a baby, and I think my wife or the mother of my kid actually also got the kit as well. And then the most recent, the nutrition one, perhaps was in a bit of trying to create awareness. We had nutritionists that spoke to people during the corporate league, and as well the project was implemented in other places as well. I think now the tree planting is open. It does not only necessarily mean that you get trees from us, but every other person has got to do it. Just like one of our partners, Radio Patches, is doing it. We've had the sensitization programs at Arrow One as well. They're also trying to kind of put and make sure these things work out.
Yes.
Now, as Sunrise TV, you've also come on board. And I think everyone should take a challenge of planting trees. I know West Nile has, for being people who are resilient, people who are very supportive, people probably look up to challenges that come in this way. So I think it is always fantastic. It's always beautiful seeing people are kind of trying to invest, putting the right energy. So I can only tell you that the next campaign perhaps will be humanitarian related. We're thinking of having Premier Bet on board again, and then UNHCR takes a lead. We want to see the NGOs, the organizations come on board, and we impact in the refugee camp.
Yes.
We impact on the refugees. We impact on the host communities. We're looking at mindset change. Can every other person out there come and maybe drop for us their used up clothes, shoes, things that they think they cannot be able to use for a longer time, even stockings, playing boots, wristwatches like this. Can we collect all this? I could even have about 30 of them. Me personally, I can donate.
Yes.
So can we do this challenge maybe in the next edition, and we impact if it has the blessings of UNHCR, because UNHCR has the MAJE, they probably run this alongside OPM, Office of the Prime Minister. We also want to see the host communities and the refugees relate, because we can use football for a purpose of uniting people. We can use football to influence in right decisions. We can use football as a ladder for every other person to get to climb and to be in their dreamland, because your ambitions could be different, my ambitions could be different, but at the end of the day, how we gauge ourselves, will determine the far we want to be, the better we want to be, and the community we aim to have.
All right, let's talk about the rulings. Of course, I know here the rules for for the semi-final classes in here. Of course, one of the rules seems to be increasing about reckless tackles, and the rules for red card is always there. And how do you intend to? What manner some of these issues here before the months actually the players actually go into the pitch to actually see that they play their opponents, and the rules are kind of very strict here. Rule number 1 seems to be one of the biggest one for me. Talking about reckless tackles and use of abusive languages, it comes actually in that actually regarding the how has been this rulings being set up by the officials here to the Conference League.
Well, I think one of the key things we're doing here is as a team, we're trying to look at a number of things, and one of the things we looked at is if you're playing football, before even you get to have yourselves on the fixture, there must be rules shared, and these rules were shared. So the rules were shared in the sense that before you play, you know that reckless tackles could actually earn you a cushion. Then abusive language, pushing your colleagues onto the wall, onto the iron fence or probably the fence in there could actually earn you red card. Abusing fans because there are players who probably lose their heads. And one thing that changed from the group stages is group stages had about 15 minutes each half, 30 minutes full game. Then we reached out to an opportunity of extending 5 minutes. So that means that 20 minutes each half, 40 minutes full time. And this is standard because you look at 20 minutes in the game, and much as somebody would be able to see a small pitch, but you're running up and down, you're trying to make sure things are okay, and you have a very big plan for yourself. You get dehydrated, then good enough, we have enough water. We're even thinking each team should be able to take about 20 liters of water, as much as only 8 players probably start the game. So I think it's a reason that every other player out there, every other team out there has got to improve on the way they have been perceiving the competition. But of course, good enough for working with the DFA. Mr. Apangu Rashid is doing the technical part of these games. He's working with Abdul Muttalib Kiza, who happens to be one of the technical persons who have referees head. Kujo Habib is as well involved. So I think every one of these persons that I mentioned, the referees who are appointed for the game, they have a reason. They have extremely done amazing work, and they have improved the perception. We've had a very fair and easy games that were played, and games properly officiated. The referees have been rotated in, out, and perhaps in the semi-finals is when we would expect the best referees brought in. In the final, we would expect the best referee of the competition, because the finals will have referees awarded the medals just like the footballers. And then amazingly, we also have a closing ceremony, man. We have a very big one, and we're going to be killing bulls. So the community out there, people out there, when you come around, just after an hour, you can still come back and probably will be able to sit. We are going to design some tables for fans. Every team, every player, every fan that was involved in this competition will have a slice of our bull roasting, and we'll also be able to kind of showcase our culture, because at Tuambe we said we're not doing alcohol, we don't do booze. We shall have a lot of soda for people to drink, shall have a lot of juice for people to drink, and that's how sometimes our happiness. We've seen people who take sodas perhaps even sometimes get more happier than those who probably get into the other. But we don't stop them, only that we think here life has got to be about the beliefs people have. And at Tuambe, we chose to be sober and more sober, and it's a reason I think we don't register a lot of indiscipline related cases here. But we do advise that what is good for you, use it, but what is not good for you, perhaps Tuambe as an option for you.
All right, Tika, let's talk about, maybe last thing for me, let's first talk about the prizes here. Of course, you've mentioned a lot of things. There's Nyama Choma here, there's pool here, there's everything here. For you to come and play here, also need some money. So try to break for us down the prizes here.
Besides the corporate league, that people paid 600,000 Ugandan cedis to participate in as a team, we have a menu at Tuambe. If you want to have tea in a flask, it's 3,000. You want to have juice, it's 3,000. A meal start from 3,000. You can actually be able to have yourself some beans, some nyasa, some kaunga. You can have offals at 3,000. There are things that you buy at 5, but our meals don't exceed 10,000. The most expensive. We have lusania that comes every Friday. You come in numbers. Can have a lusania for 3, lusania for 5, lusania for 7, and it does not as well get to exceed 70,000 Ugandan shillings. So it comes with meat, chicken, it comes with some chapati, it comes with some juice. Then the nyama choma is at 5,000 a stick, and it comes with cassava, it comes with salads. But generally, life here is not complicated. Even if you have your 1K, you can get a pair of sambusas.
Yes.
Yeah, then when you want to play pool, you play at 1K, and coming to the game, you pay 5,000 as an individual to play 1 hour. Then if you're a group from 7 a.m. as a team, from 7 a.m. On weekdays from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., each hour is 50,000. From 5 p.m. to 7 a.m., public holidays, weekends, you pay 100,000 per hour to play at the facility. Bookings are done in advance.
Yes.
And strictly, you make bookings. When you come here, you pay money. You can pay on Momo, you can do flexi pay, you can have physical cash. Everything that we do here is proper. So we just want to encourage that when you have a chance to come in here, come with a positive mindset. Feel easy. There are also people who do donations, people of goodwill here. When you sit around in here, there are people who probably actually be able to engage you and ask, if there's something you want us to do. But at Tuambe, you can even play football at 3 a.m., 5 a.m., even in the morning, at night, during the day, even at midday. So let's feel free. The operations here are 24/7. There's no limitation as in that regard. Finally, the purpose of the corporate league this year is action against climate, and I would think every other person has a reason to protect our environment, has a reason to probably work extra hard to make things better. I just want to appreciate you guys. I saw you coming up. Thank you for the good ideas. Thank you for the innovations. For the team behind the camera, this has been so nice, and I think the innovations of having a TV, more show for those who can be able to watch the TV on YouTube, those who can be on Facebook, those who can be on the other platforms. We encourage, and would like to say in capital letters that Tuambe, Premier Bet Tuambe Corporate League and Sunrise TV have entered an agreement that is in capital letters that will allow the game to be live, or the games to be live on the TV. All you need is data, and being the by the way good enough, we have a partner in Sidanet that is giving free internet that day. We also want Sidanet to be a partner for Sunrise TV, and I think it is the last time you guys are perhaps using the other data, because we also have I'm an ambassador for Sidanet. So we can actually be able to kind of crack a deal and see how every other person out there will have an opportunity, because we want this TV, just like we said, to be also 24/7 for the benefit of the community. So anytime that Sunrise TV comes to Tuambe and they go live, there's no SOP that probably will be able to stop them. So we appreciate our four, Afoyo, Iete, Shukran, Anzo, Amadofo.
All right, that's a comprehensive one from Theo Kende. Of course, the next big interview will be against the guy that works so closely with the Premier Bet. Of course, some minutes here that he will shortly join us. Of course, if TK goes out to look for him, I would like to ask TK a very simple question about the new format of the Star Times of Ghana Premier League. Of course, teams are pulling off, including AC Villa, Vipers, and NEC. And Dio Kakozi, the marketing mobilizer for Team Total Football Club, did say that without these three teams, UPL will still continue with the new format. Do you agree to that?
Let me first of all say congratulations to West Nile Province that had an amazing game on. And as far as the FIFA drum is concerned, I watched some of the clips live. I watched clips live on your TV, Sunrise. And I think it was amazing. It was a big thing, and it worked out well. Somewhere, I think being the former media officer, the transition from me to Ziggy Zaga, I want to bless it. It was nice. I'm glad that he took it over, and I worked for 2 seasons and said, I'm done. for West Nilers, let's rally and go and support the team against Acholi before we have a return leg against Bugisu and perhaps even have Acholi played in here. To the confusion that is set by Magogo, Jinamazo's Magogo, I think Magogo should be able to kind of look at what football is able to put on table.
Yes.
Because the first culprit of football is Magogo himself. Yes, he's an engineer. Let me respect that. Magogo's first club that played and that made him to come to the presidency was called Mutunde Lions.
Yes.
He did not complete a season in big league. The competition he introduced. Magogo was in charge of competition when a team from northern Uganda did actually lose by 23 goals, a call. He was the competitions director then. Magogo now has women's team called Kampala Queens. Now Magogo comes, changes the format of the competition, that football should be played 3 times. Yes, it's okay, it's amateurism. You wake up today and say it should be played.
Yes.
Has he calculated how much the teams will be able to spend on transportation, paying allowances of the players? That means the league is going to run longer than the initial time, paying salaries of the players.
Yeah.
And perhaps even did he consult the stakeholders like us? Because me, I'm a stakeholder. I was in the media class, the first media class that the federation had.
Of course.
I trained journalists, I worked with the people, and said FUFA has a new format where they will consult us as stakeholders, though we're external. Magogo wakes up today and his political side tells him that we should have three rounds of a competition. He said he's improving the staff, but you see, UPL is supposed to be run by its private entity.
Yeah. Starters.
Yes, it's supposed to be run by a private entity, just like the Tuambe Corporate League is run by
Premier Bet.
By Leave Premier Bet is a sponsor. We are a private entity that is running the competition. So why don't we have the independence and say, let the team secretariat sit at Nambole, address issues of the game. Then Magogo himself sits at Fufa House at Mengo, addresses issues. The Magogo in Uganda Parliament. The Magogo that sits at Mengo. The Magogo that runs very quick to Nambole to disturb the secretariat. And the Magogo who probably has ownership or relationship or attachments to the speaker of this country, the parliament. I think Magogo just needs one thing now. Magogo needs to decide and say he's going to be inviting teams to play football. Because this, for me, I think is not proper. But today, I think the Chitara people are watching. You are blessed to have a man who does not have the brains to think. Why? You've been playing in the Star Times Uganda Premier League, you need team. There are lots of players who are doing well, the Omedis. You trended, you were closer to winning the trophy, you missed out. Because you were learning something. Now they are bringing a new challenge for you. A man who sits for you because maybe he got his allowances, says the competition can go on. But just like Nachiwala, who does not associate with any football club and is the third vice president, she knows nothing. She does not have a football knowledge. I don't know whether the formaco that people have been running in this country impacts into their knowledge of the persons in there. The CEOs who know football were not consulted. They called the chairmen of the clubs or the chairpersons of the clubs. They got them into the corner. They slept on good beds. They ate good food. They got allowances on their mobile monies in their accounts. They made a decision that the whole country got shocked about, and the language is okay. People will cry one day. They will cry. Ugandans are good at crying after some time. So now, what will also make us relevant, even for me, what will make me relevant is that at some point, we are going to see teams sharing gate collections with Federation of Uganda Football Association. Now, there are teams that do not even collect 50 shillings in their home games. That means they are going to get lots of money in their away games. So Magogo has finally done it. He has done it for those who do not know how to mobilize. He has done it for those who want to be confused. He has awakened us. He has made me feel that the same professional aspect of the game cannot be achieved. That even him as a president is setting a bad precedent. And we shall keep begging. We shall keep begging in many ways. It's a regrettable incident, and as a person, I don't think I would buy it. Even creating the 6th league, there's 5th, 6th division, 5th division, 4th division, 3rd division, 2nd division. There's even a zonal league that is somewhere there. These are all confusions. Let them keep being there. We shall see. And finally, I'm a West Niler. We won the FIFA drum in 2022-2023 season. And if the competition of the drum is legit, there are 16 provinces. Why don't you have all the 16 provinces participate in the group stage? Why do you give teams opportunity to go for qualifiers, and yet you said there are 16 provinces? What measure did you use, or what criteria did you use to determine the 16 teams? If there are 16 provinces, why would you want to eliminate some of them? 2, why do you have FIFA drum games at a time that there's international break? Why would you want these teams, the same players that are supposed to be held in provinces, play for the national team, and in those engagements? 3, why would you want football to be played in a way that you benefit, and yet your investments in the game are not proper? Lastly, what is the future of the game? Because the FIFA Junior League has been a white elephant project for some time. So I think I would have a lot of things to discuss, but I always believe that what is wrong is wrong. I believe there are perpetrators, there are people who probably share information. They already probably throwing this to Magogo, and I have his numbers. I will throw this also to him. So I think I'm disappointed in him. I'm hoping in that God intervenes and probably makes his stay as a president too short, and he exits the FIFA job, because it doesn't make any sense. And I think for the development of the game, we have a lot of changes. Even the badge has changed. Even soon the Uganda Cranes might probably even be different, in terms of naming. And for the federation that makes a lot of money, federation that has made immense progress in terms of what to achieve, when to achieve, how to achieve, where to achieve. I think for now, that's all that I can see about it.
All right. Up next is the big man himself, the owner sponsor here at Twambe Cooperative League. Of course, we're talking about the Premier Bet. Of course, the guy is a middle start. Of course, shortly he'll be joining us here, and we shall be looking into nitty-gritties about the developments that Premier Bet is offering here at the cooperative actual tournament in here. Of course, this is one of the biggest initiatives initiated by Twambe Cooperative League. Of course, I'm privileged to have the manager, or the marketing manager for Premier Bet right here with me. Actually, behind, of course, he's coming, and I can tell you this is one of the biggest opportunities to have him on the show. Of course, we shall be looking into details about Premier Bet, how it can be in position to access Premier Bet, or else how you can be in position to bet with the Premier Bet. Of course, Mr. First of all, my name is Senior Zero, the host of the show.
Thank you very much. I'm by name Musa Robert. I work with Premier Bet as the regional supervisor. Thank you.
All right. Of course, he works with the Premier Bet as being the regional supervisor. Of course, I would like to know something about you coming on board to come and sponsor Twambe Cooperative League this time around.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Initially, we never had the intention of being as a sponsor. We never had the intention of coming out as sponsor. Earlier on, the third edition, we came as a competitor to compete in the tournament. Yeah. So this fourth edition, when we came in, I also got in touch with the organizers and requested us whether we can throw some small money to sponsor the tournament, and it was a very good idea. That's why we came in, though we are both participating and also sponsoring. Yeah.
So apparently you guys have been ejected out of the tournament right now, and I would like to know the feeling about that. Of course, once you were actually a team itself playing here and again sponsoring, how has been the feeling like after getting ejected from the competition?
I think we were still on in the semi-final playing Laura TV.
Yes.
So we're still on the tournament. We are not yet ejected out. We're still in the semi-final. Okay. And we're going to play again tomorrow at around 5.
Okay. Yes. Okay, let's first talk about the beauty that you bring to this tournament. Of course, this is the Twambe Cooperative League. Of course, you guys are the biggest sponsor of this. Of the tournament. How special does it mean for you people?
Yeah, really, it's a very good opportunity because as Premier Bet, we are a sport company and we deal in sports. Yeah. All this time, I think Premier Bet has been out of many things, and I think it was through maybe we never had some kind of communication or other thing. But when this tournament was brought in, initially I wasn't around, but when I came as someone who loves sports and someone who works in the sporting business,
yes.
I feel like I need to come in and throw a small or a little thing to support our community in terms of talent development and other things. And last edition we participated, and we had some discussion with the bosses of Tuambe.
Yes.
I requested if we can come on board and we try to sponsor the league. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about how people can be important to access Premier Bet, see that they get registered, always a bet with them.
Yeah, I think first of all I need to give some background about Premier Bet.
Yes.
Premier Bet started earlier on in 2004 in our city, Kampala there. So it took some few years. 2016 we came in to West Nile. And I think I was personally the one who started. We started with 3 branches. The one was in Transport. Then the other was in Nadumi Afro Triangle building. Then the third branch was in Koboko. Right now, since 2016 up now, we have 43 branches in Northern Region. We operate in most of the districts in Northern Region. Northern Region, I mean West Nile, actually Sub-region and the side of Lango.
Yes.
So when we move in all these districts of Northern Region, there's a Premier Bet.
All right, let's first talk about how has been the affiliation daily like. Is it a routine thing, or is it going to be something which is going to be just once and it goes off?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think initially this sponsorship was just a abrupt thing, but we've been in discussion with the Tuambe management and the independent body which is organizing the league. We hopefully on Sunday we pray that we're going to have a very big deal of at least 3 to 4 years, 3 to 5 years. And this time, I think as Premier Bet, we're not going to come as a team. This time, we're going to come as sponsor, and we don't have to participate in the league.
Okay.
Because there is conflict of interest there. One, we are sponsor, and again, we are. I remember when we were playing quarterfinal with Buganda community.
Yes.
We went through, and as I think those are jokes. They were like, they favored you, ABCD. So I think next edition we want to avoid that. We're in discussion with Tuambe management. Premier Bet is going to come as a sponsor of this league for either 3 or 5 years, depending on our discussion.
Yes.
And on top of that, Premier Bet, I think I need to inform our listeners that next edition, Premier Bet is not going to participate. It's not going to, we're not going to have conflicts of interest. We're going to come as a sponsor, and I invite most of the organizations, the companies, they should come in and participate in this from the competition, the 6th edition.
All right, let's talk about how can one be important to access Premier Bet, to bet with Premier Bet. Is there any link that people can be important to access to bet with Premier Bet?
Yeah, I think first of all, we have 2 options. One of the options is going to our shops, which I mean the branches. Like here in Narua, we have 4 branches. We have one in Transport, we have one in Afro Triangle, we have one the other side of Go Down, then we have in Rhino Camp Road, then the 5th one is in Kodiofe.
Yes.
You can go to our branch, you either request for a fixture, we have computers there, you select your games, you print out, you keep your ticket. That's the analog way. But since we're in digital world,
yes,
there's the option of also online. We have a website which is called www.premierbet.ug. You log in that website. After logging in, the procedures are very simple. You submit your details, national ID, then you register. So after registering, there's a toll-free number there. You call that toll-free, then we initiate for you a 10,000 amount just for startup business as a capital.
Okay.
Just a matter of registering. You just follow the website. It's www.premierbet.ug. Then it takes you the link. After that, the procedures are very simple. You register, after registering, it will show you that you have registered successfully. Then after that, there's a toll free there. And for those who know our shops, within any, it doesn't matter which side, but I'm talking about Northern Region because I'm done with the responsible Northern Region.
Yes.
Premier Bet operates in form of partnership.
Yes.
So me, with my director, operate in Northern Region.
Yes.
So I'm speaking on the behalf of Northern Region Premier Bet.
Yes.
So you can go to any branch of us. There's no branch in Northern Region where they don't have my number.
Yes.
In case if you go to them, you show them that you're newly registered, they will call me. We have a team on ground. They will initiate you 10,000 as a startup capital.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We as Sunrise TV, of course, we are the biggest sports agency when it comes to TV channels say in West Nile. Of course, we are a TV which is currently running the biggest sports show, which has got a number of viewers. Over 3,000 viewers are always there watching Sunrise TV, and we are also an entity that likes sponsorship, yet maybe Premier Bet can at some point also come in and see that we also get affiliated together to see that we keep pushing the business further in there. But let's first talk about the USSD code. Can people be in position to access it through TikTok phone or the button phones to see that is there any code that people can press in to see that they get registered using the button phones?
I think for time being we haven't gone there because we believe the world is moving in a terrible speed and we need to go digital.
Yes.
We so far the issue of like pressing codes or what we are not really there.
Yes.
We believe that the way to go is digital.
Yes.
And the smartphone is not something there if you have a smartphone. And on top of that, even though you don't have a smartphone, in all our branches we have laptops there.
Yes.
Those are the same laptops you can go and register. You go, you register, you can even register, there are two options, you can register through your phone, or you go to one of our shops, you go and register from there. After registering, of course you have to log out. And it will be very easy in case of any challenges, all our staffs, from the security guard up the cashiers, they can guide you on how to register.
Okay.
So after registering, you bed, from there you log out, because if you leave your account there, who knows, someone can cash out your money or what.
Yes.
You go to our shop, you register. After registering, when you're done with your business, you log out.
Yes.
You leave others to operate. So the option of pressing code so far we don't have, but we have made things very simple in the way that if using computers is very hard for you, for us the over feature, I think Premier Bet is one of the companies which offers free features in all our shops. We just like now usually our features. Today's Friday, we always have these weekly features. The features start from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you can go to one of our shops, you get fixture, you keep it at your convenience place, whether home or where, then you select your games. You can select games of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday using that same fixture.
Of course, as we are interviewing, I'm also trying to register with the Premier Bet. Of course, I have never been one of the fans of the Premier Bet. Of course, finally, I've now got the truth about Premier Bet. Of course, after here, I'll be registering so much with Premier Bet. Of course, this is the biggest TV channel that has got that actual link to see that you are kind of connected when it comes to sporting actual activities. Of course, being a TV that runs still without a sponsor, probably could you see Premier Bet anytime coming in to support us. Of course, this is where we keep on pushing actually everything smoothly there. But let's first talk about the main idea that you guys try to come in. Is it going to be a consistent thing, or is it going to be of course I'm seeing a number of organizations here. I'm seeing Bank of Africa being around, I'm seeing a Rural One, a few parties being around, Agiam Obligimity being around, Bank of Africa, all these NGOs, all these companies are within in the circle of Twamba Cooperative League. How consistent do people intend to sponsor this tournament?
Yeah, for us as Premier Bet, we are open. Our arms are open to come Twambe because initially this thing was initiated by Twambe. For us, we came in as a third or second party to sponsor the league.
Yes.
Actually, the truth is currently, though we are the sponsor, but we have not gone through written documents to be the official sponsor. But right now we've been on discussion with the management of Twambe, and our arms as Premier Bet are open. We will come to Twambe. We are going to go into legal matters, register, then we will become the official sponsors of Twambe Top League. And it will depend on the contract. It's either 3 years or 5 years. And we shall commit ourselves to sponsor the league for the period of agreed upon with the management of Twambe.
Okay.
So I'm hopeful that from Monday, you as the biggest TV sport program, you're going to get the feedback, and I'm sure you also come here and interview us with the management of Twambe.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get the feedback.
All right. It has been one of the big interviews that actually we prepared to see that we'll give people some money. Of course, we shall be bringing for you the live coverage of the final game that is being sponsored by Premier Bet here at Twambe Cooperative, actually at Twambe Arena. Of course, it will be next week, and the final will be live here on your TV screens. And my name is Senior Zero, the host of the show. I had the privilege of having the media officer here at Twambe in the name of Toko Badu LK Chioke with us, and he has kind of got some business to do, and he's kind of taken up in there. Of course, I'm not joined by the regional manager of Premier Bet. Of course, here we are going to conclude today by saying that you have to give us your parting shot before we leave it in there.
Yeah, I think the final remark I can give is the tips toward betting. You know, I can't say that betting has become a way to go. You know, there's a perception toward betting. And all in all, I encourage people, you know, you really need to be guided on how to bet.
Yes.
You see, let me give you an example. Like if I'm salary and I'm paid 200 monthly, it doesn't make any sense for me to get all this money or 100, then I place in the bet. I don't encourage that, and we don't advise that. Betting should be part of, you know, this betting has created us, it has created by the people to know more about clubs. Initially, I think people were only limited to Premier League games.
Yes.
But right now, for ProBet, they can even go up to those teams down there. They know them. Because betting has created knowledge of different clubs and the teams. Then, you know, when you're betting, like for example, you should stake or you should bet what you can afford to lose.
Yes.
Like for example, you're my friend here, we can meet here and I can afford to buy for you a bottle of soda.
Yes.
That should be what you should place as a stake.
Yes.
Don't use your capital, don't use your assets, don't use any of your money for betting.
Yes.
You should stake or you should bet with what you can afford to lose. For example, there are guys who can afford to lose 1 million.
Yes.
But the question is, me and you, are we able to lose this 1 million? Or can we afford to lose 1 million? The answer is no. We still have a lot of demands. And that's why you find out in Premier Bet we are very strict in the way that our security guard and other things we prevent kids from that.
Yes.
So we encourage people when you're betting, my brothers, my sisters, because nowadays our sisters are also betting.
Yes.
And we are witness. And with this online betting, by the almost, it's not that people don't come out.
Yes.
But even big offices, people are doing it.
Yes.
People are doing it, and let us bet responsible. We should stake or we should bet with what we can afford to lose. Thank you very much.
All right. It has been me, Senior General, the host of show. We are out of here, of course. Remember to join us tomorrow in there for the weekend edition of the Sports in the, of course, which will be breaking down the English Premier League game that will be taking place tomorrow. Of course, the big one will be on Sunday at Manchester United will be hosting Manchester City at Old Trafford. Of course, it's going to be the biggest. Of course, Ruben Amorim has got that particular history when it comes to playing against Pep Guardiola. I don't know what you can say about that game. Of course, it's going to be a big one, and Premier Bet as well has got that game to bet on.
Yeah, I think with me now, let me testify myself. I'm Arsenal fan, though we've been trying to be on top, but things are not moving on well. And this season, though most of us Arsenal fans are saying that because of the squad we had, maybe we're going to win the trophy. But again, when we play Liverpool, things turn upside down. But on that game, you know when you're betting in general, you have to go to previous history.
Yes.
You have to go to previous history, head to head. Also, the score matters. But for me, I think the game is going to be draw. That's my prediction. But I predicted because I have not staked money. But if I was to stake money, it would be a different prediction. Yeah.
So you expect the game to end in a draw?
A draw.
A draw.
A draw.
Okay, that's according to the regional manager of Premier Bet. Of course, we're out of here. Catch us again tomorrow here at the Sunrise TV again.
Okay.